Hey guys, today we're going to make a delicious corn and chicken dish. We're going to stuff some corn with a chicken farce and then torch it. We'll serve that with a corn cream, a crème de volaille and corn husk oil sauce, golden brown polenta, and of course some beautiful roasted chicken. So, let's begin. First I'm going to show you how to clean the chicken. I use a corn-fed chicken that weighs around 1 kilogram. Make a thin incision in the skin on both the legs and break the joints. After that, cut the legs off. Then make an incision at the end of the breast and twist the bottom to break the bones. Now cut it off. After, as a final step, cut the wings off. Keep the cleaned chicken covered in your fridge for later. Then take the legs and make a cut to open up the bones. Scrape the meat off the bones and then cut them off. Keep all the trimmings and the bones for the sauce. Now also remove the skin and any leftover pieces of fat or bones. Then keep the meat in your fridge. Later we'll use it to make the farce. Now we can start on the sauce. For that I use a total of 2 kilograms of chicken bones and trimmings. First chop the bones and trimmings in smaller, more workable pieces. Now add a drizzle of oil to a hot frying pan and pan fry the chicken trimmings till golden brown on all sides. Meanwhile cut 300 grams of onion in half and clean them. Now chop them. Once that's done, you can do the same with 300 grams of shallots. If you're not able to find shallot, use a total of 600 grams of onion. Now once the chicken is golden, transfer it into a big pot and continue pan frying the remaining trimmings till all is golden and delicious. You'll probably end up with a lot of leftover chicken fat. Don't throw this away. It's great to use for confit or pan frying. Now transfer the sliced onion and shallots into the frying pan and pan fry on medium heat till a light golden color starts to form. Then add it to the chicken bones. After that pan fry 250 grams of mushrooms. I still had some leftover chanterelles, but a plain bottom mushroom is also very delicious. Once golden, add those to the big pot as well and then deglaze the frying pan with 300 grams of white wine. Let this simmer for a minute and then pour it into the big pot together with 500 grams of cream and enough water to submerge all the ingredients. Now also add a bulb of garlic that's cut in half and 3 sprigs of thyme. Bring it to a simmer and then continue heating on the lowest heat for 8 hours. After that, pass the sauce through a fine sieve and let it drain for at least 30 minutes so you don't waste a single drop. Once that's done, use a small ladle to remove any fat that's floating on top. Then clean one corn and add the corn to the sauce. Bring this to a boil for 5 minutes before blending it till smooth. This takes around 2 to 3 minutes. After that, pass the sauce through a fine sauce sieve and use the back of a spatula to tap the sieve. This makes the whole process a lot easier. Now if needed, reduce the sauce and then season it with some salt and when necessary add a drizzle of white wine vinegar. You need to add the vinegar when the sauce is too fat. The vinegar will balance this. Then keep it in your fridge for later. Now for the stuffed corn. First remove the husk from 4 corns and keep the husks to make the oil. Then season a pot of boiling water with a generous amount of salt and blanch the corn for around 4 to 5 minutes till cooked. Once cooked, take them out of the water and let them cool down in your fridge or in some ice water. Then for the farce. Mix 250 grams of the chicken trimmings with 60 grams of whole egg, 40 grams of butter and 6 grams of salt. Blend this till smooth, but be sure that the chicken doesn't heat up too much from the friction. Once smooth, while mixing, add 80 grams of cream and when it's incorporated, directly stop blending to prevent the farce from splitting. Then transfer it on a fine flat sieve and use a dough scraper or spatula to press it through the sieve. By doing this, you'll create a super elegant and refined farce or mousse. Keep it out of the fridge for later. Then take the blanched corn and use a super sharp and thin knife to cut around the center of the corn. Be very gentle so the corn stays in one piece. Now fill it all the way with the farce and then bake it at 130 degrees Celsius for around 18 minutes till the farce is cooked. Once cooked, take them out of the oven and then let them cool down completely. Then again, use a super sharp knife to gently portion the corn into the desired size and place them on a metal tray. Now torch the side with a blowtorch. Then keep them in your fridge for later. Now for the corn husk and lavage oil. First take the husks from the formed corn and toast them slightly with a blowtorch. This will create a really nice smoky or barbecue flavor. Now place the husks in a vacuum bag and also add 320 grams of a neutral oil. I use sunflower oil. Vacuum this 100%. After that, steam it at 85 degrees Celsius for 50 minutes. You can also do this in a sous vide. Then let the husks drain on a fine sauce sieve and use a ladle to press out any oil so you don't waste a single drop. Now transfer 30 grams of lovage leaves into a blender and also add 300 grams of the husk oil. Blend this till the temperature of the oil is 65 degrees Celsius. It will heat up from the friction. Then let it drain on a sieve that's lined with a kitchen paper to clarify it. Do this in your fridge so the oil doesn't turn brown. Now for the polenta, pour 650 grams of chicken stock into a saucepan and also add 100 grams of butter and 5 grams of salt. Bring this to a boil. Then add 130 grams of polenta and while stirring let this boil for 2 minutes. Now cover it with a lid and then let it cook in an oven that's 160 degrees Celsius for 45 minutes. Meanwhile, grate 60 grams of Parmesan cheese on a fine grater or a microplane. Once the polenta is cooked, remove the lid and add the Parmesan cheese. Be careful, because the handle of the pan is still very hot. Now mix it well and then pour it on a tray that's lined with a silicone sheet or parchment paper. Spread it and then let it set in your fridge. After that, cut it with a small round cutter and keep them in your fridge for later. Now for the corn cream. First cut 2 shallots in half and clean them. Now chop them. Then add a drizzle of oil to a hot pan and glaze the shallots on a medium heat. Also add 3 grams of salt. Once the shallots have softened, add 300 grams of the blanched corn with 100 grams of vegetable broth, 150 grams of cream and 2 sprigs of lovage. Let the liquid reduce on a medium heat till almost everything has evaporated. Then remove the lovage and transfer everything into a blender. Blend this till smooth. This takes at least 5 minutes. Now also add a drizzle of white wine vinegar to give the cream some freshness. Normally I always add a binder to the cream as well to prevent it from splitting, but the corn has so much starch that it binds on its own. After that, pass it through a fine sieve and use the ladle to make it a bit easier. Then transfer it into a piping bottle. Now I use the cream to fill this beautiful new mold from Mold Brothers. Find the link in the description of this video. Once the top is leveled, let it set in your freezer. Then as a final prep, blanch a couple of pieces of chives and lay them next to each other. Lay some corn shoots on top and also add some small winter purslane. Use the blanched chive to bind this together and then trim the bottom with a small knife. Keep them in your fridge for later. Now we can start to finish the dish. First add a drizzle of oil to a hot frying pan and pan fry the polenta on both sides till golden brown. Once golden, place them on a metal tray. Now add a drizzle of oil to a hot frying pan and season the chicken all around with salt. Then pan fry it on all sides till golden brown. Once it's nice and golden, add a big knot of butter and some thyme and baste the chicken breast for around 2 to 3 minutes. This will create a lovely color, flavor and a crispy skin. Now place the chicken on an oven rack and pour the hot butter on top. Cook it for an additional 15 minutes at 110 degrees Celsius and then let it rest for at least 20 minutes at 50 degrees Celsius. Then remove the corn cream from the mold and place it on the center of a plate. Cover it with some foil and heat it up at 50 degrees Celsius while the chicken is resting. Right before the chicken is done resting, heat up the polenta and the corn at 110 degrees Celsius for 5 to 6 minutes. And then just before plating, add a drizzle of the green husk oil to the hot sauce and gently mix it. Now once the chicken is well rested, place it on a cutting board and gently cut the breasts off the bone. Then portion it to the desired size. I serve 4 to 6 people from 1 chicken depending on the amount of courses. Now lay the corn on the side of the cream and place the polenta next to it. Pipe a dot of the cream on top and then lay the chicken in the middle. Add the beautiful bundle and then finish the dish with the delicious hot chicken and corn sauce. Okay guys, that's it for today. The dish looks amazing and it might be only a couple components, but it is quite a lot of work. Especially the corn, you need to be very gentle with that, but it's so worth it. If you're not able to cook it in the oven, you can also do it sous vide. I would cook it at, let's say, 81 degrees Celsius for around 25 minutes. But then you really have a nice roll as well. You can just portion it, but be sure that you really let it cool down 100%. Really in ice water or in your fridge, but it needs to be cold and really cold before cutting it, because otherwise it might fall apart. Polenta, really lovely. I love a golden brown polenta. And then the new mold from Mold Brothers looks really cool with the sauce in the middle and then the beautifully roasted chicken. That's always a winner. But let's dig in. Yeah, that's really delicious. It's so super nice in flavor. I really love the sauce. You can really taste the corn in it as well, but also those beautiful toasted bones and trimmings and those lovely chanterelles. Like I said, if you don't have chanterelles, you can also use butter mushroom. That's also very delicious, but it just had some left over, and yeah, why not? The little herb bundle of the corn shoots and the winter purslane, I always love making those with just any seasonal herbs. It really brings some color to your dish, but also some flavor, just buying together with the chives, and that's super nice. So yeah guys, that's it for today. Very happy with the result, especially the corn. It's really lovely. I think it's a quite difficult technique, but if you just take it gentle, step by step, and be very gentle, then you can make it for sure. So guys, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please let me know in the comments on what you want to see next. Like and share this video, and please subscribe if you want to support my channel and if you want to get more great recipes. And as always, bon appétit!